communication,
connection or creativity and connection,
and commitment.
Commitment.
If you have those three tools, you will strengthen your marriage, you will strengthen your business. Your number one priority as an entrepreneur is to make sure that you're strengthening your foundation, the foundation which is you. Welcome to the Got Money and Sex podcast. My name is Raul Villacis and I'm here with my co-host,
Vivian Villacis.
So welcome to another episode of the Got Money and Sex. August is here. The summer is almost over.
Almost.
And here's what I like about August. I like about August because most people slow down in August. Most people are just chilling by the pool. And I love to just double down and hustle in August. Like in August mode, I'm doing two things. I'm enjoying the last days that I have with the kids, but I'm focusing on continuing to double down on the business as well.
And I don't ever think that you ever really slow down, to be honest.
I have a slow down. I don't have a stop button, but I have a slow down button.
You slow down, but it's very rare that you slow down. Especially in business, I think you're always going, and I think that's a great thing.
Like, we just came back from Ecuador. Did you see me slow down in Ecuador?
Oh, you had a rough experience wanting to slow down.
I had to purposely slow down because I went to a workout and I hurt myself.
God said, buddy, you need to slow down. But you purposely sometimes don't slow down. And that's okay.
Maybe I have a hard time. Okay, I'll admit I have a hard time slowing down, but you know, God, life always finds a way to teach me how to slow down.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing for a lot of us is to slow down. You know, like we move through life so fast. Like I was just meditating on this morning. That's so funny you say that. You know, like when we stop and we smell a flower, we pick up a flower, like we just pick it up and then we take a whole whiff and then we walk right past it. But do we rarely like just really take the time to like take in that smell and the color and all the beauty that it has, and not just a flower, but like just life and food.
That's what happened in Ecuador. In Ecuador, I was purposely forced to slow down. So I'll give you some framework. So we went to Ecuador for 12 days. Probably like that's the longest time that I've been away. Like, you know, we usually go away 3-4 times a year, but we take like 4 or 5 days in and out trip.
It's more than enough for both of us.
Our kids love it. You love it. I love it. It just, you know, we build a lifestyle that the kids want to be home. The kids always want to be home. Yeah. Like we love what we do. So it's hard for us to go away for a longer period of time. And this time we went to Ecuador for 12 days.
But only because we had different commitments.
Yeah, we have commitments. We have meetings. You know, we met with a lady. We're gonna do a little tour in Latin America. Coming up. So it's gonna be a huge announcement. 2019. We're gonna do a tour in Latin America, Colombia, Ecuador, hopefully Chile. We're gonna start with Ecuador, Cuenca, Guayaquil, and Quito. We're gonna do a little tour. The next level, mi próximo nivel. But one of the things that I had a hard time at the beginning was really slowing down because my mind was like, you know, I have things going on. You know, we just brought new people into the business. And here
you have an event coming up.
We have 2 events coming up. So there's a lot of things going on. So the first thing I did is I found a CrossFit gym in Ecuador. Yeah. And I went to the gym and I said, okay, I'm going to take all this frustration of being away because the Wi-Fi sucked. There was very, very little internet. And I didn't take in consideration the altitude. And if you've ever been in South America, you know, we are probably about 15,000 feet above sea level.
It's one of the highest peaks,
in that level, what happens when you work out, your muscles need more oxygen. So you're breathing more. And what my doctor told me, what happened to me is that I worked out for 45 minutes. Yeah. That was equivalent to working out 3 to 4 hours with that level of oxygen.
Wow. And also, it's also because the way that you exercise, because I exercise in the morning and I meditated and I had such a good time, but I really like pace myself because I would feel my heart.
I need to go. I can't, like I said, I don't have enough buns, so I need to go all in. So I'm going to go all in. I went all in. And plus in the CrossFit,
it was a competition.
So I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going to be the weak link here. So I ended up being like coming in third. I started really good. I was in the first place for like half of the time. And then it went down the hill once my muscles started to and it was crazy because I never felt that way. I never felt like almost like I felt like my muscles were just giving up. Yeah. And it forced me for like how many days? 3 days?
When you couldn't walk?
It forced me to slow down because I couldn't walk. I was like, walking very slowly. It hurt, like every muscle in my body hurt it. And it wasn't like, I got afraid, to be honest with you. Like, I worked out before for a longer period of times. I never got hurt. This time, it was kind of like God saying, you need to slow down. Yeah. You need to slow down.
Yeah. And then we got to see a lot of beautiful sights, and you got to actually be fully present. I think, when we have such pain in our body, and the same thing I'm experiencing like this whole week, the body gives you such feedback that it allows us to slow down and to be fully present to what's happening in front of you.
But I think we don't have time. Like, I personally don't take my time, like you said, to smell the roses. I'm going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And you actually are one of my anchors to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think that, when we talk about the topic for today's podcast is what's the hardest job of an entrepreneur, right? And I think that one of the hardest jobs as an entrepreneur is to kind of keep everything together, because we wear many hats. We're the cleanup guy, we're the director, we are putting all this together. So as an entrepreneur, we have at the beginning, we have many jobs.
And I would say, like we were talking about this before, one of the greatest jobs an entrepreneur has is when you get to go back home and then keeping your marriage alive. Because as an entrepreneur, like, I know you are the best at what you do, and there are many other men out there that are amazing at what they do, but when they come home, they find themselves with the marriage that's like, okay, here's another job. How good can you be at this job here at home?
So I was talking to a guy this week, actually. He runs a company, and he has 80 or 90 people that report to him, and he's constantly putting the fires out, and he's constantly telling people what to do. When he comes home, like he it's hard for him to transition of being on that role of telling people what to do. So sometimes he's like, I'm telling my wife to do this, and it's kind of like she's part of a team, but there is no intimacy. And I think the hardest job for an entrepreneur is to see the different roles that we play to keep our shit together.
Yeah.
Because if we don't keep our shit together, everything is going to fall apart, and you start seeing. At the beginning, I think as an entrepreneur, we wear the many hats, but as you mature, as you scale your business, you have to know your roles. You have to know your roles.
Yeah, because also, like, when you have a business, you don't want to, we're talking about like a marriage as a business, because we were talking about it. It's kind of the same thing that you use in your business, you could use at home, meaning in your business, you have to have a clear communication.
But I think that's the problem that we have as entrepreneurs, especially as men. We don't treat our marriage like we treat our business. Because I think if we start as men, if we treat our marriage the same way we treat our business, there'd be a lot less divorce rate. There'd be a lot less divorce rate, because if you put attention to like the amount of, at the beginning of our marriage, the amount of energy that I will put on the business was disproportionate. And that, created a separation between you and I.
Yes.
And within the separation also came the financial crisis that actually forced me to look at what I was doing to see if it was even worth it. And I think that, like, right now, how long have we been in this economy? I think we've been like 3 or 4 or 5 years in this really good economy that really, like, in real estate, whatever you touch in is like, you could flip properties. Like, we're back into like 2008, 2009 prices. Here
which is kind of scary.
The Northeast is like, don't you, like, it's gonna happen. Like, there's like, the writing is on the wall. It's not sustainable. But yet we forget that only a decade ago, we were like scrambling, trying to figure things out. A decade ago, we couldn't even sell anything. So we forget very, very soon from our past experiences. Same thing in marriage. Like, I believe that if more men put enough attention to their marriages, just like we put attention to our business, we'll have a completely different life.
And I think it's the same thing for women. Going back to men, yes. If you come home and you put the same effort that you do in your business, that you do in your marriage, I think a lot of things could change. But for women, the same thing. Like, we forget a lot that our husbands need our attention. We are so consumed by, taking care of the household, taking care of our business, taking care of our kids, taking care of like all these priorities that we think is a priority. And then when we realize like our husband is the one that really needed us, and we didn't give him that attention, we didn't have the clear communication or the clear, commitment, the same vision, we didn't go through all these things that we were doing in our business, like we fail to do that.
It's because you guys are thinking in a different concept. Like for us, it's more about the price, right? We want to hunt. We want to get the price. Like we come home and said, okay, I made $1 million. For you, doesn't mean anything because, okay, go take out the garbage or go, do this.
You made $1 million and you forgot about me.
And you forgot, you didn't pick up milk, you didn't pick up this.
Or you just didn't give me the attention that I needed.
And that it comes down to the attention.
Yeah.
If you pay attention to your business and you pay attention to your marriage, you're going to be able to see that the both of them will grow, not necessarily at the same time. And, and it's a season for everything. Like I look at, my time, how I invest in my time. Is like, I know that there is a huge time that I invest in my business, but the intention behind when I'm with my kids, the intention behind, like last night we had date night, just the intention behind it is, I mean, that's where I think we have this mentality as men that if I can't give my wife everything that she needs, then it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So let me just build a business so I could give her everything, and then one day I'm gonna give her everything, and then I'm gonna be happy. When that day never comes.
And what if that day is too late? Because we know a lot of marriages that they've worked their butts off, to create this amazing empire, and then they turn around and it's like,
strangers.
Oh, everybody's gone.
No
Not
kids.
even strangers, like they're gone.
No,
your kids have outgrown, the household. They're going to college. Your wife was tired of waiting for you, and now she found another man to take care of her and to love her the way that she wanted to be loved. And here you are, you have this huge empire. And what do you get with that?
And usually that's what we see. Look at celebrities. We see that all the time.
And that's so
we see
sad.
Celebrities.
That's
and I think that we were doing some homework before the podcast, and we're looking at statistics of like what's the profession that has the highest
divorce
rate. And it was bartenders. Bartenders have like 70% divorce rate. I'm guessing because there's a lot of temptations, a lot of being in the club, a lot of hours. So I don't know how. Like you were going to be a bartender when we were in college.
Yeah, that was college.
Good thing that you didn't come through. Look at that. We probably would have made it. Or I probably would have been right there in this same bar.
You would have been the crazy husband sitting down at the end of the bar.
Or I would have bought the bar. I would have bought the bar so it could work for me.
Either way, it wouldn't have been good.
Either way, we probably ended up in a different scenario.
So I think, like having a clear communication as to what you want in your marriage, what do you want in your business, what do you want with God. I think that helps us out a lot, in our marriage. I know I have my own conversations as to what I need for me and as part of the marriage. And I always tell you, I'm like, I need time. I need attention. I need you to be with me. Even like, when I was feeling sick this week and you come and you just sat with me and you heard me and I was just, venting and talking and crying and doing my thing. I'm like, that's all I really needed. And then after that, I felt good. I'm like, okay, the pain's still there, but somehow I feel better.
You trust it. And I think that's where we miss out on the communication.
Yeah.
I think that as men, like we have not learned how to communicate. We communicate by doing.
Yeah.
We don't
or providing.
We're doing, providing.
Yeah.
We don't communicate by just like listening. I think that for you, when you said, like, it's funny you said that, like, I wasn't talking, but for you, it was communication. It's like, I just sat there and I was like, one thought was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, she's never like this and she's complaining about this. And like, I was concerned, but I was just, I wasn't talking. But then from your perspective, it's like, oh, we had a great conversation. You're such a great guy.
I felt so heard, seen, and loved.
Well, that's the thing. Communication for women is, can you be seen and heard?
And loved.
And I think that a lot of us, what we do is that we're communicating with our phones.
Yeah.
And we're just bringing it down to the point that, this is how I'm listening to you, woman. I'm listening to you, but the reality is that I could listen to you, but if I'm not paying attention to you, it doesn't count for you.
That's right. That's so important. And I know Gary Chapman talks about this all the time in his books. And he always says, like, how can we pay attention to each other and be fully present? It's the same thing as slowing down. Can you totally be present to what I'm saying to you? And maybe that day you weren't fully present, but just the fact that you were sitting there and maybe thinking like, oh my God, like if she's sick, what's going to happen? Like I saw the thoughts running through your head, but at the same time, you were just sitting there like, okay, let me just be here and try to figure this out.
And that's communication for you. And that's time and that's presence. What you're saying really is presence. Like you want, like women want their men to be present, to be there for them.
Yes.
The same thing in the business, we'll put this into business concept is like, if you're not watching the shop, nobody's gonna take care of it.
Yeah, no.
Like so many times, like if you're not present in your business, if you're not communicating with your team, if you're not communicating, like so the number one job, I believe, for a leader is to be a good communicator, to make sure that you're communicating with your team, communicating with your wife, communicating their way of communication, not our way, but the way that they want to communicate.
And sometimes when you communicate, you just have to listen. I feel like a lot, it's necessary, and it happens a lot in our marriage. Like, I just need you to listen, and that's part of communicating for me. And the same thing for you. Like when you're talking to me, I just listen. Like I am a very good listener, and I've heard like all of our conversations, and I take like bits and pieces of what I can do to make things better, and then I hope that you do the same.
But see, one thing that I also want to throw out there is like a lot of men, when we are in leadership positions, we try to fix our women.
Yes.
We try to be the coach. We try to be the leader. And we have an agreement, you and I, that I'm not your coach. I'm your lover. I cannot be your coach. You cannot be my coach. We could learn from each other.
Yeah.
But we have to have that certainty of our roles, that I want you to be my lover. Like I want to be your lover.
Yeah.
I don't want to try to fix you or coach you. You have coaches. You have people to help you see things. Same thing with me. Like we are not trying to fix each other. We just help each other see different things. And that's important, because a lot of guys are like, if I could just fix my wife, if she could just do this. And I know that's not your problem. Your problem is that you're not seeing what you're doing that's driving her crazy.
Yeah.
That's so true. So the second thing is also being creative. We talk about communication. The second is being creative. Like sometimes, we've been married for 18 years. And we figure out ways to be creative in the things that we do. Be creative. Even when we went to Ecuador, we got creative and we did things that we've never done before. We've seen places that we've never seen before.
Oh, I think we're talking about like we've done things like we didn't do that many things.
Oh, we get creative in that area too. But in Ecuador, like we got creative in like being able to be in different places. Being open-minded.
Yeah, and I think being creative. We talked about like being creative and creating connection between what's happening at the moment, between the two of us, between the family, between, those moments. But you got to get creative, because if you don't get creative, then you're doing the same thing all the time. And that part is just frustrating for women.
Part of a good business model is constantly looking for innovation.
Yeah.
You have to innovate. And the same goes for the marriage. You have to innovate. You have to get creative. We have a spot for date night, but sometimes it gets old. We have to do something else. Even though we have many options, we have to be creative and not do the same thing over and over again. Especially in business, same thing. The number one thing that happens in business and what businesses start to fail is because they stop innovating. They stop innovating. Businesses stop innovating. They stop growing. Marriages, we don't get creative. We stop growing, and all of a sudden we're in a rut.
Yeah.
We don't run.
But then that happens with a lot of marriages. Like, you invest so much money. I know you invest so much money into the marketing, into like the Facebook and all this stuff. But it's like, you turn around and it's like, how much money? If you really ask yourself, like, how much money do you invest in yourself and in your marriage?
And that goes with a lot of people when they talk to me. I have a lot of guys who are coach, and like, okay, how much money have you invested in yourself? So, well, I haven't invested any in myself because I'm investing everything in my business.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't invest in yourself, you're never gonna grow. If you don't invest in your marriage, you're never gonna grow.
Yeah.
That is the key part of growth. That like, show me your calendar where you invest your time, your energy, and your money, and I'll tell you what your growth is gonna look like.
Yeah.
So the last one, so we got communication, we have being creative and connect.
And I think the last one we said, it was commitment. I think if we don't have commitment to what you're doing, to who is in front of you, like we would have given up a long time ago on each other, because, you've driven me up the wall so many times, and it would have been so easy for me to say like, that's it, no more.
In both cases, woman. In both cases, you're not angel either. You're not angel either.
I know I'm not an angel, but it's having that commitment, and that commitment really, for me, has come from the teachings that God has given me. Like, it's so easy to walk away. It's so easy to just find another partner or find something that makes me happy. But at the same time, it's like, I'm giving up on a promise that he gave me, on a promise of marriage, on a promise of love. And that really never resonated in my heart. And I know it's easy. Trust me, that's probably like the easiest thing. But
to
at
be
the same
uncommitted.
time,
It's easy to be uncommitted. I think that's, it goes the same thing in business. Like I talk to a lot of people in the business world and like, man, if I could just, have the same mindset that you have. Like I've been doing this for 3 years. Like there's never been whether it's a video, a post, like I've been playing this game of creating content for the past 3 years. And the moment that I committed to create a brand, I committed to put myself out there. It just, you don't have to, I think it never started with, I'm going to commit to be married to this woman, only for 1 year and we'll see what happens. I didn't say I'm going to commit, to marriage, and then 6 months, if this works out, then, we're going to continue.
Or I'm committed to my business. I'm committed to
my business for 6 months. And that's what we lack. Like you got to, I'm committed for, like I tell my guys, I'm committed to the next level experience for the next 25 years. So in my coaching program, I tell them, if you're not committed to join me for 25 years, like consider where you are in life. That's a long-term contract, right? But you know what? At the same time, time goes by so fast. In relationships too. Like, I'm committed to see this through. And I think that if we just enhance that commitment and just ask that question every single day, like how committed am I to seeing the results that I want? How committed am I to really the things that I say I want? Because everybody could say, I want a great marriage, I want a great business, but if you're not investing, if you're not communicating, and if you're not creating, then it shows you commitment. The reality is that you're lying about your commitment. You were interested, but not committed.
I love that word, committed.
So that's it. There you have it. So I want to make sure that we remind them the 3 things. The most important job for an entrepreneur right now is to keep their marriage together, because their marriage is a reflection of their business.
And more than together, I would say alive. I love that word because it's like, it's such an amazing thing that you have a partner by your side, that there's so much things that you could do together, and there's so much aliveness in us that we could create together. Like there is so much that happens, so much that flourishes from 2 people that come together, like whether it's your kids,
it's power because you have a power of leadership. You're feeding off each other. You have a team, and like if your wife or your partner, she's there, is gonna give you that energy for you to create more. And if you're just building the business and you just focus on the business and you're not building your marriage, 2 things are gonna happen. You're gonna have a divorce and you're gonna have to split 50-50. If you don't have a prenup, you have a 50%. You already lost 50% of your business right there from the beginning.
And there's so much energy that goes into that.
Energy leaks, like all drama, and then the kids. So like the most important part is to have the foundation. I always talk about the foundation. My foundation is not my business. My foundation is my kingdom. My kingdom is my body, my relationship with God, my relationship with my kids and my wife, and my purpose. That's my foundation. If I have that foundation, that kingdom, then I could produce from that place. Then I could produce and create money, business, whatever that follows. But if I don't have the foundation of the 4 pillars and the foundation that is me, that's the kingdom that we talk about. And people talk about kingdom is not tangible, is the intangible, is that emotion, is that feeling, is that security that you have, that you know that you're taking care of your family, taking care of your kids, taking care of your wife. You know you're taking care of yourself, you're working out, you're making sure you feed yourself, and you're growing. You know you're connecting with a purpose with God, and you know that you have that production, the ability to produce. Then from that place, that energy, then you could produce the results you want in your business
and in your marriage.
But if you don't produce that foundation, if you don't take care of that foundation doesn't come easy. That foundation comes with a price, the price of intention every single day. You have to
commitment,
work.
The commitment that
foundation
you have.
comes with a commitment that you have to be committed. Like there is nobody out there that has everything. There's no such thing as having it all. I don't believe in having it all. I believe in the expansion and the growth. And the expansion and the growth means, who are you becoming in the process? Who are you becoming while you're going through this journey?
And enjoying the process.
And if you're not enjoying the process, it's going to be a stressful situation.
Because sometimes like, people want to get to like a certain goal or a certain point, and like you forget, like there is so much beauty in between the process, so many beauty in the experience and the pain and all these things that you go through. You gotta
look back at your progress.
Take the time.
That's what I tell my guys all the time. Focus on progress. Perfection is an illusion. Focus on progress. Creating progress every single day. Whatever progress you build on progress, you build on that. You build on 1% better that you got yesterday in your business, 1% better that you got today with your marriage, 1% better, and that from that place, then you could build.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking, once it goes perfect, once I have a perfect business, I'm going to have a perfect marriage, and I'm going to have everything, I'm going to have it all. That's all bullshit. Why? Because you're always evolving. You're always growing. Like the moment that I believe that I have everything, that I have it all, I'm fucking dead.
Yes.
And that's the moment that will stop growing. No, that's my biggest prayer every single day with guys, like, don't let me forget where I came from. Don't let me forget the process. Don't let me forget the journey, and give me just enough so I could see the things that I need to do today, because I may just not do it if I see too much in the future. So I need to execute today and let me see what's possible today, so I don't stay in dreamland of the one day and the what ifs.
That's beautiful. I love that.
So it's 3 things.
Such power.
Thank you. So 3 things is communication,
connection or creativity and connection,
and commitment.
Commitment.
If you have those 3 tools, you will strengthen your marriage, you will strengthen your business. Your number 1 priority as an entrepreneur is to make sure that you're strengthening your foundation, the foundation which is you.
And make sure that you feel alive every single day. Be thankful for what you have.
So thank you for watching. Thank you for plugging into the podcast. Don't forget to leave a review. Yep. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Follow us everywhere except for our bedroom. And that's where we keep it private. Thank you, babe. Love you.
I love you too.
Learn it.
Live it. Experience it. Love life.